So this is for all of you who want to start working with nature-based architecture. And if you are, looking into, if you have the idea that you want to start your own company, you want to do your own projects, then I wanted to just take a few minutes to share a couple of things that I think is really important for you to understand, to save you the time as well, and to give you an insight of what you're getting involved in. Today, you might look at many companies and you can see them. They grow so fast and everything looks so great, but there's also challenges, and I want to share some of those with you so you can have them in mind, because these are the things I wish I knew before I got started myself. And one of the most fundamental thing, and this might sound a little bit disruptive to all of you, but I'm going to be completely honest that sustainability doesn't sell, really, honestly. I'm saying this based on my own experience, that for almost 15 years, I've been trying to sell sustainability to people and just trying to shove down their throat that, this is good, you should do it for the environment, But the truth is, in the end of the day, even though all these people are very much aligned and think it's very important, in the end of the day, it's very important, the financial aspect of it for human beings. If you are offering people something, even though it's the most important thing for the world, if it's going to cost them a lot of money, if it's going to be very complicated for them, they're not going to do it. That's just the truth. You need to put all of this together in a way and clearly communicate with them the financial benefits. This is the main problem I see people who get involved in this field, is that they forget this aspect. They get so, and I've done this mistake myself. You have so much passion for this subject, and you think that the whole world should just understand this, and you might even feel frustrated why people don't understand. But the reality is, if you don't make it financially sustainable for people, they're not going to do it. Maybe a handful of people you will find, because they're just super amazing people, and finance is not a big aspect. But let's be honest, in today's world, most people are struggling financially. So your product should help them financially. So I'm telling you this because it is way harder to sell this idea than actually to build it. Like I spent, before I even started talking about this, I spent over a decade just building autonomous buildings around the world. And that was my main focus. I just wanted to master the art of building autonomous buildings. And when I felt like, okay, now I got it, I've made my mistakes, and now I can actually build products that have a good quality, I came out to the market. And when I came to the market, I realized that it's way harder to sell this than to build the buildings. And one of the main mistakes I did in the beginning was that I was communicating the wrong way. I was telling people, all about the environmental benefits and the CO2 absorptions, and how we would save the soil and the air and all of this, which is super important. But I wouldn't really explain to people how this would improve their lives in terms of them being independent, resilient, their security, their comforts, and financially, how much money they would save actually on living like this. So it's very important that you have this in mind, because when you come out there, you are colored, you think everyone is thinking like you, but that's not the reality. What you need to do is that you need to listen to your clients. This is the main problem I see, because I see so many people going into a meeting with a client and they're just talking and they're just talking, and this, and my product, and this going to change everything, and this is revolutionary. But they don't ask any questions. They don't ask the people, so, what is challenging for you? You need to understand what people's challenges are, and then see how that product and service that you're offering can actually help them to overcome that. And if you can't, if your product cannot achieve that, then you should be honest about that. You should not try to sell this to everyone. If people don't need your product, then be honest and accept that to yourself, and don't waste your time on those people. I used to do this mistake as well, until I learned who to speak to. And when I was speaking to people, I was asking them questions. And actually, if you ask yourself, who is the one driving the conversation? Is it the one speaking, or is it the one asking questions? And the truth is the one asking questions. Because as you're asking questions, you are directing the conversation towards what you want. If you understand, if you ask them, how much are you paying in water bills? They tell you, today, 100,000 euros. We have some hotels we're working on. They say 100,000 euros. And then I ask them, okay, how much were you paying 2 years ago? They say, actually, I was paying 70,000 euros. So the water price is increasing for you. Yeah, and it's becoming challenging for you. Okay. So now I understand. Water is an important aspect for them. If you ask them about their energy consumption and you see they're not struggling with that, then why are you trying to sell them a solution that is not a problem for them? So even though it's important, like I agree with you, yes, they should reduce their energy consumption, their water consumption. They should not produce sewage and throw it out to the environment. But, it's difficult if you try to sell them everything. Just try to find the one thing that is really, really difficult for them and solve that. And once you solve that for them and they are happy, they will tell all their friends and family what you did for them. And then all those people who have the same problem, they will come to you and they're going to be like, hey, I heard you helped this hotel with this. We have the same problem. So I really recommend you to listen to your clients, ask them questions, understand their challenges, and then provide the solution. Because the challenge with nature-based architecture is that it's so holistic. There's so many solutions integrated into it, and sometimes it can be overwhelming to sell everything. So these kind of discussions and subject is something that we are constantly doing with our students at the Biotonomy Online Academy. So we have an online academy where students from all over the world are joining constantly. And people are there for different reasons. Some people want to build their own companies. Some people want to build their own homes. Some people want to do projects. Some people just want to be part of the solution. We've designed it in a way that no matter who you are, you're able to join and learn from us. But especially if you are dreaming or working on to set up your own company and work with nature-based architecture, then I really recommend you to join our community. This will save you so much time. I'm completely honest about all these challenges, and I love to share them with all of you because that will help you to save time. And the more people that are making projects around the world with nature-based architecture, the happier I will be because, the bigger impact we will have together. So be part of the solution and join our Biotonomy Online Academy.